Hello, hello, welcome back to another episode of Warframe. We are here in the relay that Barrow is here, and I'm surprised he didn't actually talk. There he goes.
My latest safari in the void has yielded spectacular finds.
They always do, Barrow, they always do.
Tenor of distinction.
Let's go ahead and pull up a calculator, because I did calculate how many ducats I needed, but I think it was like 2,100 something. For one of everything that you see here that I do not own outside the Sands of Enderos quest and the 3-day resource booster. But let's verify that, shall we? We got 375 for Primed Fast Hands, 400 for the Sekihara. Or Sekihara, I should say. There was no A after that K. 400 for the Prisma Yamako Sayandana. 350 for the Katir shoulder plates. The Lisette Prisma skin I already have. 350 for the Prisma arrows and 500 for the Katir Kavata armor. So that total comes out to 2,375. Now I already have 245 ducats, so that brings us down to 2,130 that we need. Now I have done some relic runs earlier before I did the recording here. So we are able to head into the menu here and sell off a couple Paris parts, and I think there was another one. It was an upper limb. Cernos, that's right. There we go. Okay, so the Paris and Cernos parts we can sell off for 60. Let's go ahead and do that right now. And that means we need another 2,070. Worst case scenario, that is another 138 relics I need to run. Hopefully that's not the case. But is there anything else we can get right now that we have the ducats for? I don't think so, because I think the cheapest thing is 350, and we are a bit short on that. So let's get out of the relay. Yeah, until next time, Barrow. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Yeah, so we are going to go ahead and go through some relic missions. I have a few weapons equipped that I need to level up anyway. The Super Vandal, which I am already on rank 25 with, and this is my current build with it. It's just like a fire rate build, really. Like crouch on fire rate between those three mods there, and a little bit of damage and multi-shot between split chamber and serration. For the Euphona Prime, I'm still leveling, or re-leveling, I guess, for my second form. I do have a build in mind for this. Should be pretty damn good, actually, but I actually need to get more endo for Prime to Heated Charge to get max rank. But that's that build. Euphona is really set up for crit at the moment than any kind of elemental damage or physical damage. And here is the Prisma Obex, which you saw I already had bought from Barrow. That costed 500 ducats. I went for something a little weird with this build, and that build weirdness is just attack speed. Attack speed and reach. I really love the Obex and the Kogake melee weapons in this game, but the damage output on them is just really low. Like, the base damage is terrible with it, so I'm hoping they can actually become my new friendly build, if you will, overall. At least that is the goal for it, but I definitely will have to be doing some Formo into it. I think I need to do... I think it was like 5 Forma or something, just to get it to where I would want it to be. I use Warframe-builder.com, by the way, for all my builds, and if you are interested in knowing some of these builds that I have for things, you are feel free to ask me down in the comments, and I will make sure to link them for you. Assuming I have them already built, it'll be right away, otherwise it might take a moment for me to actually get them up there, but... yeah, if you ever have any questions about what builds I'm using, feel free to ask me down below in the comments, and I'll get you a link to the build itself, so you can use yourself or whatnot. Yeah, these relic missions have become very simple compared to their first iteration of them, when you used to have to close these fissure missions yourself. And honestly, it just requires me running around as Ember, especially at this particular level, killing things. And really, I don't have to do a whole lot besides maybe kill the Ancients, because they still reduce so much damage for their non-infested allies. Suppose though, not much can be done about that. Yeah, as you see, things are just kind of dying around me. It's not even a threat here. It's kind of sad. Now, I could have brought my Kavat for the off chance I could get double the amount of traces, which would allow me to rank up relics a bit more often. And maybe we'll do that after this run. I do have them still out, or I guess her? I actually do not recall if my Kavat is male or female off the top of my head. Oh, and for those that play with the audio of the game off, it is very difficult sometimes to determine where fissures open up. Like, I did hear one open up behind me there. And that's why I immediately turned around for it. That and the fact that I saw this was the exit, but, oh great, a form of blueprint. So you know those 138 relics runs. That is assuming I actually get something worth 15 ducats each run. That does not incorporate formal blueprints, which aren't worth anything for ducats. So now it's a total of 139 runs that I have to do. And before we actually head back in, let's go ahead and change our thing over to the Kavat. Violet Richarding, because apparently they need to level up still. Who knew? I thought I'd finish that off, but guess not. Alright, back into the same mission once more. The types of relics that I'm running are unvaulted, so like the S1 Radiance here I have, both the Odinata Prime and the Silver Prime stock are both vaulted, so I'm not running them. Actually, no of the Prime systems in there is even vaulted, so I'm not running them. Saving those types of relics to run with friends and whatnot. So we can get the most potential out of vaulted relics. It's like, I'm not trying to be greedy on my own, I guess is what I'm trying to say with those. Trying to share the wealth potential between everyone. Now, me doing this does prohibit me from being able to get more Anemo beacons that I need for those mods. However, because that's going to last for another 5 days or so, more or less 5 days, they are going to be a little bit easier to get than ducats for this, which will only be here for, 2 days before he's gone. So I kind of want to get the ducats before I have to worry about Anemo beacons. Oh, and I may call them Anemo beacons at some point in time. Not intentional. I do mean Anemo. But, yeah. When I was doing that mission before, I accidentally called them Anemo, and then I just kind of made it a thing where I would call them Anemo. For really no reason, but because... why not? For those that have watched some of my other videos where I screw up on word pronunciations and I catch it, I tend to make fun of myself for it, because it's just like, really, Brain? Really? What were you thinking with that? Who knows? Plus, actually us doing this mission, I'm curious to know if we'll actually find that rare exit that I have talked about in the past for Curia. Orthos Prime Blade, I will gladly take it because that is worth 15 ducats. Actually, wait, that might be worth 45. Yeah, that is worth 45, or should be anyway. That was a uncommon drop. It's the handle off of this relic that is worth 15. So that just saved us 3 relic runs just based on that one piece alone, which is wonderful. If we get a rare piece that I am willing to sell off, we can even save more runs. So that 138 is like an absolute average worst case scenario kind of thing, but I generally find that it's not going to be the case. Though I think based on the number of runs that number is going to give me, I'm probably going to have to do at least 50 to 80 relic runs before I have enough ducats for everything, which is going to be a massive pain to run them all. I probably won't run them all tonight, but I shall run as many as I possibly can in the hopes to get everything that Barrow is offering. I would love to be able to get to a point where I am no longer trying to buy things from him and I can just start mass selling prime parts to people for plat. Oh hey, Celery. I'll take it. Why not? Still waiting for Lotus to say it's the Corpus one of these days when she says there's a large security force coming your way. I kind of wish some of these mission types, especially like capture missions especially, actually would be most appropriate for this type of idea, where it could be a random event, kind of like the Stalker and whatnot showing up. Only for, in this case, since we're fighting the Grineer primarily, like this is meant to be a Grineer tile set with a fissure on it, that the Corpus try to come and take the capture target, or, you know, hinder us a bit, or something along those lines. Really? That's the exit. Okay. Works for me. So yeah, I would love to be able to see the Corpus being able to invade us during Grineer capture missions, and likewise I would love to be able to see the Grineer invade us during Corpus capture missions. I'm not sure who would really invade us during Infested. Maybe either or in those particular potential cases. It would definitely be interesting. Let's see, during Infested Capture, it's usually just a random chance between it being a Grineer or Corpus target in those missions. It's not like a Infested specific target that we need to capture. I don't know, maybe they need to introduce a fourth faction to counter the Infested, though I guess they actually already have one, the Sentients. I could see the Sentients actually being the counter to the Infested. The infestation kind of threaten their way of life to some degree because they're not able to gather information about other living things. And my cat gave me a red crit buff. Okay. I'll take it. Yeah, I can see the Sentients being the counter to the Infested. So maybe they could potentially invade capture missions. Maybe. Though there are no sentient mission types, and I don't know, maybe that's something DE also needs to look at adding at some point, maybe not in the near future, but at some point in the later future when they get the story a bit more established and set up for it. Maybe they could add a planet or something that's completely controlled by the sentients. That would allow that to actually take place where the Infested could potentially fight them there. Kind of like Lua missions are, where a lot of them are actually crossfire missions, where it's both Grineer and Corpus fighting each other, along with the Sentients potentially showing up there. Oh, what else happens there? Well, the Stalker and whatnot also shows up there as well. Alright. I think I'm going to be done for a moment using that Super Vandal. I wouldn't say Vandal Supra, but nope. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing that I was actually interested in maybe them doing, considering they switched over the map tile set over to the new navigation that we've been using for quite some time now. Is that a third Orthos Prime Blade? Really? Jesus. What they could be doing is adding Andromeda, the entirety of Andromeda Galaxy to Warframe. If we actually take a brief look at the screen, we can zoom out pretty far, yeah? Yeah, we can. At least I feel. But like, yeah, I actually don't know where Andromeda is in relation to us, 100%, but they have plenty of room. There's plenty of rings here even for them to just add another sector off in the top left or somewhere where Andromeda is actually taking place. Alright, which mission was that? This one? These are thoughts I've had for the game over the course of many hours of me playing, and I think it would just add so much more to Warframe itself, on top of additional tile sets that could be explored, so it's not the same type of thing over and over again, though there are, I want to say, 7 tile sets now, since they added the Cooper Fortress. Actually, 100% do not know how many different tile sets. I could probably figure it out if I was to think about it, but I don't really want to think about it while I am running about here. Alright, where'd you go? I'm going to use the Obex on you. Prepare for the button spam. So yeah, that was the Prisma Obex. One of my reasons, by the way, I love it, and I'll show it here in a moment, by turning off my fire briefly, is... BAM! Oh, he died. BAM! Nope, BAM. Is the slide attack. It's a kick, and it sends them flying. It ragdolls them, even. As you can see there. Yeah, it's really fun to do, and incapacitates them, and it's a one-person C. Where'd that guy go? Oh, there you are. Yeah, that is why I love the Obex, the Kogake weapons. They just do that, and it is so much fun. Being able to knock people around, ragdolling them, sending them flying for miles. Are we seriously one reacting short? Yeah, that is why I love those weapons, and why I actually want to make the Prisma Obex my next weapon of choice that well, besides the Phone Hero, that I get to the very top in terms of forma and everything. Because the crit chance of it is actually fairly high, coming in at a decent 25%. I believe you can get near 100%, if not like 100.5% with the crit chance that it has. Another form of blueprint, of course. We'll take a quick little look at those stats here in a moment on the Prisma Obex, but yeah, it has a good crit chance, a good SAS chance. It's just the biggest issue is the base damage itself is so low. Yeah, the base crit chance on this is 25%, which is wonderful. Not as high as I've seen on some weapons in general, where they can come in like 30. I think there's one that has a 40% crit chance. But still, 25% is wonderful as it is. And let's see, I think it's True Steel is the name of the mod that adds crit chance, yeah. So if we go ahead and throw that on there, that brings it up to 40. If we were to throw on Blood Rush, which is 165% crit chance stacks with a combo multiplier, it also will add a crap ton of crit potential to this. So I'm very much interested in getting this set up for a crit build, and I'm also wanting them to add Riven mods for melee weapons, because I think that would just bring these Obexes into a whole new light of power, especially for... Oh, like for example, if I could drop this Primed Fury mod through a Riven, even if it's not a 55% attack speed, and I know that says 50, but I'm missing one rank on that, along with the Primed Pressure Point. If I could drop this mod in favor of a Riven that adds attack speed and elemental damage, that would make my life with the Prisma Obexes even better, because I'll be able to still keep up this stupidly high attack speed with it without actually sacrificing a lot of mod points for it. But yeah, Riven mods will definitely be something I have to look into in the future for this particular weapon, but that will actually have to be it for this episode. Did some random runs, did some random talking. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and until next time, as always, take it easy.